Hello, Chaucer and I are delighted to welcome you back to our little castle, and we have a road trip for you today. We're going to take you to London, to the Garden Museum, to see one of my heroes. It's an exhibition about Cecil Beaton. I adore Cecil Beaton, and I based a lot of my renovations and garden design on his house, Ashcombe House, which interestingly was the married home of Madonna and Guy Ritchie. He still lives there and is featured in The Gentleman. But we go to London just by Lambeth Palace on a very rainy Sunday afternoon, and then we hot-foot it back to the castle here, and I'm going to talk to you about something over there. We have some military history, some war history. We have the fireplace where plans were drawn up for what would happen if the Nazis invaded Wales. They took place in this room. I'm going to tell you all about it. So get yourself a coffee. We're ready. Let's go on a road trip. So I am in Lambeth today. I'm about to go to the Garden Museum. I'm very excited because one of my heroes, Cecil Beaton, there's an exhibition there curated by another one of my heroes, Luke Edward Hall. So come along to me on the south bank of London and let's go to the Garden Museum. Found it.
Where are we, Mark?
We're at Lambeth Palace at the Garden Museum, about to see a Cecil Beaton in the Garden exhibition, which is curated by Luke Edward Hall, and I am very excited. Okay, I have greenhouse envy already. Well, this is a garden party I definitely want to attend. So this is his throne / camp. So I am loving this exhibition. I'm a bit of a grammar pedant, and actually here there should be a comma. The Duke of Windsor, comma, Beaton continued to show his loyalty. But what is fascinating here is Beaton was able to photograph members of the royal family and navigate the fact that he was also friends with the abdicated king and Wallace Simpson, such good friends they also photographed their wedding for French Vogue.
He was 90 yesterday, very strong. He's the guy who did the exhibition at the V&A. They did the last of the country house, or the four of the country house that started the debate in the 70s about saving the country houses. Yeah.
We have a number of different fireplaces here at the little castle in Wales, and this one, whilst it's rather unassuming and rather odd around the cooker here in the kitchen, it is absolutely a vital part of World War II here in Wales. So let me take you into the Great Hall and tell you what it was all about. So I love finding out little bits of history about the building, and if you come in here, you'll see that history remains for us to see. So we do have a rather impressive fireplace here, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. But over here, just in the corner by our dining table, you can see on the floor here are the remainder of a hearth. And it was here during the Second World War where Gladys, who is one of the original occupants here, and her husband would meet with members of the British government. For her husband was part of MI6, and they would meet here at this fireplace, which is now above the cooker in our kitchen. And they would discuss what happens if the Germans invade Wales. So plans to rescue Wales, plans to protect Wales were made here by this fireplace. And what remains now is this beautiful hearth. I love the idea, particularly that Gladys was part of these conversations. She's buried in a tree, or under a tree, just outside the turret, over on the left-hand side of the building. Now, history reveals itself in a house like this, and the previous occupant moved the fireplace from here when they were redesigning the kitchen. But there was a problem. There wasn't a fireplace then in the Great Hall. And she was decorating one day when her husband was out at work, and she came across a small discovery. She tapped on the wall and felt something hollow. And lo and behold, she revealed this beast here. I absolutely cannot imagine this room without the great fireplace. We recently had a new wood burner put in. And over here, which is where in the original house they would have stored the pots and pans, you can see some scratchings. And I've been told by a historian they are witches' marks, which are put there to make sure that evil spirits and witches did not come down the chimney and invade the house. Again, a little bit of history revealing itself. And I love the idea they'd have their pots and pans here, and then they do their cooking over here. And talking of cooking, there's something even more exciting. Just deep inside there, you can just spot a bread oven. And they would have cooked here originally, because this was the original one-room house. They would have cooked their bread there, had their pots and pans there, probably needed the bread where you're standing here now. Now, that bread oven also has a secret to this day, because tucked in there, right at the back, there is a secret safe. And Gladys used to hide her jewellery and her money there. And if you follow me into the small hall, I'll show you the cupboard where it comes out of. Come along. We're choosing paint samples at the moment, more of that next time. So this is a hall cupboard, and I'm sure like everyone's hall cupboard, it's a bit messy. So it's kind of where we throw everything. But right at the back here is the back of the bread oven. That is the safe where Gladys kept her jewellery and her money. And I better not do it now, because all of the internet knows it's there. One of the things, again, I love about this house is it reveals itself over time. As we do something like remove wallpaper, we put a light up, something else reveals itself. So stay tuned, give me a subscribe, and I'll tell you more about the history of my little castle. Welcome back. I hope you loved that trip to London and that visit to the Garden Museum. It is rather marvellous. If you get to London, do go and pop along. It's just by Lambeth Palace, opposite the Houses of Parliament on the River Thames, an absolutely glorious part of London and full of history. And talking of history, I hope you like seeing the fireplace, seeing where Gladys used to hide her jewels, and hearing all about the witch marks here at the little castle in Wales. So thanks for joining me, and wherever you are and whoever you love, from Chaucer and I, we'll see you next time. Bye.